Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about House of Gucci. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. As the title suggests, it's about the Gucci family. Now, personally, I know nothing about Gucci. I know nothing about fashion. I'm the last person you should talk to when it comes to anything fashion related. But I do know how big the Gucci brand is. It's everywhere, right? It's very recognizable. So I imagine like anyone who's bought anything Gucci related is gonna look at this and be like, that looks interesting. So that might happen, I don't know, but hey, I mean Gucci's recognizable brand, so that helps. So I consider that a relative pro, not a strong pro, relative pro. The brand name of Gucci, even though for this movie it's not used in the greatest way, but brand's brand. So that's pro number one. Pro number two, this movie has a strong cast. I mean, let's look at our the people here. We got Lady Gaga, we got Adam Driver, we got Al Pacino, we got Jeremy Irons, and we got Jared Leto. All five of these actors have quite a bit of clout. I mean, Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, for better or worse. Yeah, but he's also made other movies too, not just Star Wars. As you know, he was in Marriage Story, where we got that whole meme out of the argument with him and Scarlett Johansson. He's also in Black Klansman. He's also in The Last Duel, and I will talk about The Last Duel when we get to the cons. But yeah, Adam Driver's recognizable, easily recognizable. Lady Gaga, do I even need to explain? Oh, I clicked on him again. Lady Gaga. Yeah, Lady Gaga, I mean, she's been a brand for like a decade now. I mean, her last movie was A Star Is Born, which made over 200 million domestic and 400 million worldwide. So, yeah. Like, that's a lot. So, I think her presence will definitely help this movie. It should. And then for our other three, we got Al Pacino. Dude's a living legend. I mean, he's been around like for ages. I mean, there's a long list of movies here. There's a Jack and Jill. That's mean. Like I shouldn't use that, but yeah, I mean, just he's so, ugh, he's so recognizable. He's had like so many great performances over the years, and yeah, instantly recognizable. Al Pacino, even though the first movie that pops up in my brain is a Jack and Jill, mainly because of some stupid Twitter meme, Dunkachino, Daily Dunkachino. I think that's what it was. Yeah, and then we got Jeremy Irons again, like Pacino, been around for a long time. He was Alfred in the Snyderverse, so there's that. Well, he was Scar in The Lion King. He voiced Scar. So he instantly has my seal of approval. Yeah, I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah, but his most recognizable performances are from him as Scar and his Alfred in the Snyderverse. And then last but kind of least, Jared Leto. Now I know this man has a interesting reputation. It's not Untitled Joker Harley film. Yeah, like that'll ever happen. I mean, he's he does have clout. I mean, he was in Fight Club. I know he earned an Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club, and he's gonna be in Morbius. He's gonna be Morbius next year. Yes, he was the Joker, a role that we all want to forget for the right reasons. But uh yeah, he's still a recognizable face. Like he still has some clout. Everyone here has clout, even though some of their records aren't the greatest. Like everyone here has clout. They're all recognizable, and I think that's gonna help general audiences. It's gonna convince them to watch the movie. So the cast I consider a pro, mainly because they're super recognizable. So that's pro number two. Pro number three, our director, Mr. Ridley Scott. I literally just talked about this man last month when I did my video on The Last Duel. But here he is again, making this. And I already mentioned in The Last Duel, he's had plenty of hits throughout his career. I think this is director credits. Here we go. I mean, from Alien to Blade Runner to Thelma and Louise too, Gladiator, Hannibal, Black Hawk Down, American Gangster, Robin Hood to an extent, Prometheus, The Martian, all hits. Granted, some of them aren't super popular, but they were still successful. So yeah, and his name is so legendary that it should help this movie somewhat, even if it didn't help The Last Duel at all. And again, I'll talk about that when we get to the cons. But yeah, I think his name attached to this brings a lot of prestige to it. So I would consider it his name to be a relative pro here. So that's pro number three. Pro number four, Thanksgiving weekend. It's a great time to release a movie. I mean, you got a big old 5-day weekend. You start Wednesday, you build up steam, and then Friday you peak, you make a ton of cash, and sure, the rest of the weekend you crumble. But it's still a strong time to release a movie like this. But, although most successful Thanksgiving movies are family orientated, that doesn't mean adult movies can't do well. I mean, look at Knives Out in 2019. Like that destroyed all expectations. It subverted all expectations. Oh, yeah, that's a good old Ryan Johnson joke right there. But yeah, that movie was a huge hit and it catered to adults. So realistically, this could do the same. I don't know. I mean, its Thursday previews look pretty good. Like 1.3 million for. I keep saying Thursday. I'm so used to doing these on Friday, but this is not coming on Wednesday. I have to say Tuesday. So Tuesday previews are looking pretty good. So yeah, I think the Thanksgiving opening is a pro right there. Another pro. So that's pro number four. I think. Yeah, four. Pro number five. I mean, the competition isn't very steep at all. I mean, Encanto's going after the family market. Ghostbusters Afterlife is going after nostalgic adults and families too. King Richard's dead. He's dead in the water. There's no point even talking about it. It's a non-issue. And Resident Evil, that's a non-issue too. So this movie has no real direct competition for a long time. Actually, I don't think it's going to be a similar movie to this for a while. I mean, is there anything in December that could really go up against this? I mean, I don't think West Side Story is going to do it. I certainly don't think Spider-Man's going to do it. Uh, I don't think I got anything. Wow, so this movie has no competition for the foreseeable future. At least no direct competition. So that's a big pro right there. It could help it could guarantee this movie has strong legs. I mean, that's what happened with Knives Out. So, yeah, I it could be a hit. So, yeah, I would consider a lack of competition to be a pro. All right, last pro I can think of. Well, it's neither a pro or a con. The reviews are meh. They're not great. It's like in the mid 60s, but they're not bad enough that they'll kill the movie. So I don't think reviews are gonna hurt it, or I don't think that they're gonna help it either. So it's just kind of like a whatever, when it comes to that. But now we got to go to the cons. The cons, the cons, the cons. Oh, Ridley Scott. We gotta talk about you again. Now, if you're unaware, last month he made a movie called Last Duel. I covered this movie, and I thought it wasn't gonna do great, but I thought it would at least do. It would make something, anything, but it didn't. It did not at all. So Last Duel here, it only made 10 million total. Not opening day, not opening weekend, total. $10 million domestic. That is inexcusably bad. That is horrendous for any era. And overseas wasn't that much better. It's only made 28 million on a budget of like 100 million, I heard. That's disastrous. And that only came out last month. Although I would say I would have said, "Oh, it might be fresh in some people's eyes," but I don't. But because nobody watched it, I think everybody forgot its existence. So that probably won't hurt House of Gucci if that's the case. But still, that's just terrible. And then after that, like, I mean, he's had plenty of bombs. All the Money in the World, Alien Covenant, Exodus: Gods and Kings, Counselor, Body of Lies, Good Year, Kingdom of Heaven. Like, yeah, his track record is just, not great at all when it comes to a lot of these movies. Especially recently. A lot of his bombs have come out very recently, within the last decade. So, that's not a good thing. Especially for this movie. So, yeah. Ridley Scott's shaky resume, I would consider a con, even though like his name itself is recognizable, but his track record is not good. So I would consider his track record to be a con here. Another con, it's runtime. It's nearly 3 hours long, like 160 minutes. Oof, you're asking a lot for people to sit through this. Now, there have been plenty of long movies that have come out within like the last few months. Yeah, last few months actually. No Time to Die was 2.5 hours. Dune was 2.5 hours. Eternals was 2.5 hours. I watched all of them because I'm a trooper. And all those movies did fine. But the thing is, they were all based off, you know, established fanboy brands. No Time to Die, James Bond, Dune, Dune, Eternals, MCU. This doesn't have that type of. It doesn't have brand name recognition on the same level as those. It doesn't have like, I guess, an instant fandom. So it might be more difficult to convince people to sit down and watch a nearly 3 hour movie about, as it says here, betrayal, revenge, and murder. Although Wolf of Wall Street was 3 hours and nobody had a problem with that. But I think it kind of depends on what the movie is when it comes to runtime. And for this, it might be a bit more of a con than a pro. So I consider it a con, the runtime. So that's a con. What else? I mean, think that's it, really. I mean, I could mention how this movie has a very Oscar baity feel to it. I mean, from the director to the cast to the story and all that. Like, it's Oscar bait 101. But I think it will be way more successful than some of the Oscar bait movies we've seen recently. Mainly for all the reasons I mentioned for pros. So, yeah, there's that too. Uh, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So, opening weekend, 5 days, because this opens on Wednesday and Thanksgiving goes all the way through Sunday when it comes to box office. So we gotta predict a 5-day weekend and a 3-day weekend. 5-day. I don't think it's gonna quite make Knives Out money. That made, to my knowledge, gotta go all the way back to the record book here for opening weekend. There, here we go. This is for 3-day. We gotta skip all the Disney movies. Well, we gotta go more towards the live action ones. The non live action. There's nothing Disney related. First, we have Creed 2. That's a sequel, so that's not comparable. Four Christmases. That's a Christmas movie, not comparable. Unbreakable. Creed. Knives Out. I think that's out of reach. Life of Pi. I think that's still out of reach. What here could be super comparable? Darn, I can't see anything. Well, I guess there's Allied here. That could be comparable because that was also like a super adult movie. How long was it? I know this was from Robert Zemeckis. And oh, it was way shorter than this, but still, you had big stars, legendary director, but this movie tanked. It tanked bad. But I don't think it will do as bad as that. I mean, just looking at the Tuesday previews pretty much guarantees it won't perform as badly as that. So I think we should take the Allied number and maybe multiply it by, I wouldn't say 2, maybe 1.5. So I'm going to say, I think that made 17 million for like the 5-day weekend, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it might make 15 to 20, maybe 15 for the 3-day. Or maybe I'm going to go 15 to 20 for the 3-day. And maybe 25 to 30 for the 5-day, I'm guessing. And then overall, probably reach, darn, I don't even know, maybe 60, 70, 80 million dollars. It might have good legs, it might not. I don't know. We'll see. But I think it should make more in its opening weekend than Last Duel made total. That I can guarantee will happen. So yeah, that's House of Gucci. So I forgot to mention a final total for Encanto. I don't know, like over 100 million something. I don't know. Maybe good dinosaur money. But yeah, I wanted to mention that because I forgot to mention the last video. Okay. One more movie to cover for Thanksgiving is the one I'm excited to talk about the most. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. Ooh, that's gonna be a video. And then that'll be the end of November. So yeah. Anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got a playlist on the homepage. I've covered, plenty of big adult movies that have come out in over the year. Some I forgot about their existence, others I haven't. I mean, I guess we're talking recent adult dramas. I mean, there's Last Duel, Dune, King Richard. Those are the ones I can think of immediately. So, want to look at my videos on those, especially The Last Duel, because it's also a Ridley Scott movie. So if you want to look at that, you can go right ahead, or any other movies I've covered this year. There's also the Cancel series, where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I don't think I've covered House of Gucci once. To my knowledge, I don't believe I've covered it once. So, yeah. But if you want to watch any of the canceled episodes, so we're up to date on all the movies, where they're going, when they're getting released, all that jazz. I just made a video like a day ago about talking about Trolls 3 and Clifford the Big Red Dog 2. So if you want to watch that video or any others, There's now 90 of them, so you have plenty to choose from. Go right ahead. It's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. November recap will come out second week of December, right before West Side Story. That's where I'm aiming for. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made over the year or even past few years, and go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.